Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today, Bitcoin news. We have some big news today. Let's jump into it. This article is titled, Uphold CEO confirms well-known finance giants are using XRP. Confirmed. So let's find out what's going on here. This is always good news. It says here, Simon McLaughlin, the CEO of American exchange Uphold, affirms that some well-known finance giants are leveraging cryptocurrencies like XRP to move funds around the world. Facts. McLaughlin revealed this during a recent interview with Tony Edward of the Thinking Crypto podcast. Shout out to them. It says Edward asked McLaughlin to offer specific details, of course, details regarding the Ripple and Uphold alliance announced a few months ago. In response, McLaughlin emphasized that Uphold is a node in Ripple's ODL network, which is Ripple's cross-border payment solution leveraging crypto like XRP. The Uphold CEO pointed out that Ripple ODL facilitates the movement of large amounts of treasury for multinational companies from one region to another using crypto as the transport layer. And nobody does it better than us. Nobody. McLaughlin, which is why if everything goes right, that price can skyrocket. Just my humble opinion, not financial advice, just how I feel. McLaughlin stressed that big companies moving money around typically pay heavily for sluggish and complex cross-border transfers. However, Ripple is mitigating the challenges with ODL product, offering a cheaper and faster alternative. In Ripple's ODL network, Uphold provides on and off-ramp service for Ripple's clients in the US, UK, and European corridors. Of course, listen, what happens when XRP is unleashed? I ask again. Then what? When they don't have to, when they can send as much capital as possible, as much value as possible across XRPL. What happens when they can move trillions of dollars in value? Doesn't mean they will, but I like to think positively. But what happens when they can send trillions of dollars in value of real world assets across the XRPL or Stellar or Algorand or Quant or Flare? What happens then? Because that moment hasn't come yet, but this shows they confirmed we're still in there. We have always been in the game, and they are trying it out. But let's keep going. It says, according to the CEO, Uphold helps instantly convert the XRP assets put into the client's account on the exchange into fiat, and then handles the payouts to the banks in the US, UK, and Europe. Essentially, Uphold's role in the Ripple ODL service is facilitating crypto to local currency conversions for users in the three regions. Then it continues on. It has a section here titled, well-known names are using XRP. Remarkably, McLaughlin revealed that its position grants Uphold, quote, a fantastic peep behind the curtains, unquote, of Ripple's payment network. They could witness tens of millions of dollars being moved by well-known companies leveraging XRP for cross-border transactions. In parallel, McLaughlin, wait, I'm going to pause for a minute. I saw an article the other day. Did you all see it? There was the person a Bitcoin millionaire, or did they say Bitcoin billionaire? They had 3 cryptos they were telling people they were bullish on. Now, 2 of them I've never heard before. I can't even remember off the top of my head. I've never heard of those cryptos before in my life. But the last crypto that Bitcoin millionaire, billionaire, whoever they were, the article was pretty, it was written by quite a few sources. The last asset they said they were bullish on was XRP. Why this entire year have so many Bitcoin maximalists, Bitcoin millionaires, billionaires, many of them coming out and saying they're bullish on XRP? I mean, you can see the writing on the wall. It's the next one in the line. You got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then you have XRP. After that, I feel like you have like Stellar, Solana, Chainlink, and then after that, and of course, I will put Quant up there. but it's just not as popular as all the rest. Like Quant seems to have their connections, and they're working on those connections. Like Bank for International Settlements, Bank of England. It seems like they're sticking to that LAC chain. They're sticking to that. I haven't heard much more outside of that, although they don't need much more outside of that. You want to be real about it. I mean, there's so many banks in that connection, especially with Nexi and Sia chain, that whole dynamic. So they may feel like they just need to perfect that. So I get it. It says in parallel, McLaughlin was asked specifically to cite some of the companies using Ripple's ODL service. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. It says due to non-disclosure agreements. There you go. NDA. So now they're confirming also NDAs are keeping some of these announcements back. So we don't know who these are. I love that. Yes, that's great potentiality right there. There's something potent building up behind the scenes. I was talking about this in yesterday's video. So it continues on. It says, however, he stressed that Ripple's payment network is home to some of the, quote, well-known names, unquote, in finance. Quote, I'm sorry, I can't. But what I can say is that there are some very well-known names. It says, this is not like a fringe activity. There are some major corporations moving money this way. That's the best news. It says, unquote, that's the best stuff I've heard in a long time. We need this kind of bullish activity, bullish news. If this is not bullish, I don't know what is. So when we get past this case, once again, then what's going to happen? I mean, I'm excited. I'm a long-term holder. I believe in what's going to happen. And we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Let's move on here. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I wanted to start off with some potent articles today. I really did. So now this article here, and I was just talking about this also, AI with blockchain. AI is super bullish. I'm telling you, folks, it's a money maker, especially if you're a small business owner. Oh, man, it's been doing wonders for a lot of us. But I'll say this. Once again, someone like Flare Network, who constantly now is talking about integrating AI somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they want to do it. I just know they always once in a while bring up AI the last few months. Okay. I don't proclaim to know everything, but if they do that, they're early in the game and they will have a heck of an advantage. But wait, this article is titled, it's from thedailyhodl.com and it's titled AI could send smart contract platforms to massive $25 trillion valuation, says analyst Jamie Coates. Now, listen, this is one person's thoughts, so it doesn't mean that's guaranteed. Of course not. But it shows you the potential that's there. This has me super bullish on anybody dealing with AI. This is Real Vision analyst Jamie Coates says that the layer one crypto sector could see a staggering rise in valuation driven by artificial intelligence technology. Cooch says on social media platform X that the total market value of all small contract platforms could reach a 14-figure price tag in the next 6 years. Now, who are the major ones out there? Of course, you have Ethereum there. Ethereum, Solana, Algorand, Hedera, Zenfin, Flare. A lot of these are, let's say, coins we're close to. All right. This is looking good. It says here, quote, by 2030, the combined market value of smart contract platforms driven by the expanding use by AI agents could reach between $15 trillion and $25 trillion, unquote. And I will be there to see that if it does occur, of course, if it happens, right? I will be there to witness such. It says here, the analyst shares an excerpt from his firm's Pro Crypto November 2023 report that suggests AI will increase the demand for on-chain verification and authentication services. The report also says that human-directed or autonomous AI agents could make use of smart contract platforms to exchange value, significantly increasing the growth rate. Quote, by incorporating an AI growth factor starting in 2026, which adds 10% to the annual growth rate, we can begin to gauge this impact. Initially, the effect is modest, but by 2030, AI agents could comprise could comprise over 40% of total daily active users. This obviously creates some rather astronomical valuations for the blockchain assets, which will benefit from the transaction fees generated by an increasing number of AI agents. Now imagine something like this with Flare and Songbird Network, but also in combination with delegating, right? And staking, which is locking up a lot of that stuff. That's just what it is. You're holding that stuff to get those yields. How would it affect the price of those types of things? You know, I'm just playing with thoughts here, but that's interesting. Super bullish news today. It says, Coots, if people don't like this type of news here, the first article in this one, I don't know what they like, man. So listen, please click the like button. Please click the like button if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. All right. It says here, Coots further says that even if the report's prediction is partially correct, the combined market capitalization of smart contract platforms would still witness tremendous growth. It continues on. It says, quote, projections based on historical regressions will not hold indefinitely. The key point is that directionally, network value increases exponentially as the network expands. Even if I am 25% correct on where this all goes, then it's still a 4x to 5x from current market cap levels, unquote. All right, so there you have that. So now let's move on here. Let's see what else. We did an XRP article already. We've done an AI crypto smart contract article. Let's do the Bitcoin article. Let's do a little bit of Bitcoin news here. So now, this article was titled, I have two Bitcoin articles, actually. Let me see what this other one is. I'm going to do the most potent one first. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so now this article is titled, Bitcoin traders expect Fed Chair Powell to pump our bags, quote unquote, and Bitcoin to target 80K. Please, let's get out of this bloody area right now, because people are becoming very disheartened. You know, for a lot of us, this is just regular crypto activity, but a lot of people are getting very scared right now. So please, if this can happen, do it, right? Let's get Bitcoin green again and going up again. All right. So it says here, historical Bitcoin performance data and investors' expectation that the Fed will, quote, pump our bags, unquote, have traders anticipating a strong Bitcoin price rebound. I would hope so. The Bitcoin price rose 3% on May 13th as crypto traders anticipated price volatility. Yes, but I did look at the charts. There was some kind of massive sell that happened. I'm talking about massive. Holy smokes. But it makes sense that a massive sell happened. I'll tell you why. We read articles about a month ago where they were saying that long time Bitcoin holders were some of the main sellers. They're selling. They're taking profits. So maybe it's one of them. I don't think it's one of the big institutions. I think they want to hold a while. I think they want to ride everything up once Bitcoin explodes. For them, I don't know. I can't say they didn't get in low. I don't know where they purchased, but it seemed like there was a lot of buying at like $50,000, $55,000, a lot of accumulation, $58,000. They accumulated on the way up, you know. So I don't know if that was institutional. I think that was long-term Bitcoin holder selling, but there was a massive sell that happened. So Bitcoin came down a little bit after that. I'm not sure what it's doing right now. It says data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed an intraday Bitcoin price high of $63,269 on Coinbase shortly after the Wall Street Open on May the 13th. This week, market participants await the United States inflation data to help determine whether the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates in 2024. The U.S. Producer Price Index, PPI, print is expected on Tuesday, May the 14th, which is today. It says followed by the Consumer Price Index reading on May 15th. According to CME's FedWatch tool, market analysts forecast a 72% chance of rates remaining the same at July's Federal Open Market Committee meeting. I agree with that. I believe that it will remain the same. A lot of pros have called for if there's any change to happen, then it will happen in September. We've read that multiples of times, but we shall see. It says with the possibility of rate cuts pushed later in 2024, currently at 48.6%, at September's meeting. Traders forecast 91.1% chance that rates will remain unchanged at June's meeting. We shall see once again. All right, so now we got the Bitcoin news out of the way. Let's see what else we can cover here. Should we do some Cardano? We have Cardano news. We have more XRP news, some price predictions. Let's find out what's going on with Cardano. I'm trying to be as diverse as possible today. So this article is titled Cardano Bull Dan Gambardello identifies how long before ADA reclaims $1. I believe once the bull market really kicks into high gear, I think a lot of these cryptos are going to skyrocket, like the ones from the last time. I think XLM will go up, Quant will skyrocket, Solana will go up, although Solana's not doing badly right now compared to where it was before. Chainlink will go up. Cardano, I think, will skyrocket. And like I said, I like to iterate this. I'm just giving respect where respect is due and being completely honest. I hold zero Cardano, but I think it will go up. Ethereum will skyrocket. I don't hold Ethereum either, but I know a moneymaker when I see one. I believe I do. So yeah, I think it will do very well in the future. Very well. Not financial advice. This is prominent Cardano pundit Dan Gambardello has suggested ADA could regain the $1 mark in the coming weeks amid the ongoing depressing performance. I love how that's phrased. That is hilarious. I almost laughed. Cardano has been a major victim of the market downturn in the past few weeks. ADA came very close to relinquishing the 40-cent threshold earlier this month during the market bloodbath. While it has rebounded notably to trade at 46 cents, its price has yet to re-enter the psychological 50-cent level. This trend continues to be a source of frustration for Cardano enthusiasts who are keen to see ADA surpass the $1 mark to begin its ascent toward the previous high and potentially explore new price highs. For context, ADA was last seen at $1 precisely 2 years ago. In April 2022, Cardano was on track to break this jinx in the first quarter of this year when it hit a yearly peak of 80 cents before the bears took over. Nonetheless, prominent Cardano advocate Dan Gambardello has proposed a time frame within which ADA supporters might witness the asset at $1. $1. I said dollars. I don't know why. He believes that reaching $1 is within the realm of possibility for ADA in the coming months. Gambardello voiced this sentiment in his latest analysis of Cardano's performance in relation to Bitcoin. And let's scroll down here and find out what he said. They have the tweet cropped, but I didn't want to read it from the tweet. Looks like we're going to have to. It says Bitcoin sideways coming to an end. Cardano path to $1 is mapped out. What is this, a video that they posted? Twitter/X has changed so much since I was heavily on there. They have a lot of stuff going on. So now I guess they have videos and stuff. So that's interesting. It says, in his assessment, he hinted that ADA appears to be gearing up for a breakout that could lead to a consistent upward trend. He pointed out that the weekly relative strength index RSI for Cardano continues to flash an oversold condition, which he considers a bullish signal. Additionally, Gambardello observed that Cardano is converging on the 20-week moving average. The technical metric averages out fluctuations over a 20-week span. ADA to $1 by August. This is what he's saying. In assessing Cardano's prospects of reaching the $1 mark, from the observed bullish signal, Gambardello first examined the asset's historical performance. Specifically, he explored the time frame it took for ADA to surpass $1 level. I'm going to skip a little bit of this. This is a very deep, thorough article. I just want to get to the crux of it all. Okay, so it says, notably, ADA's attainment of $1 from its price of 46 cents implies that the asset must have grown by 116% in the next 12 weeks. What is the catalyst? What is he saying? The catalyst is it can't just be chart patterns. Yeah, he's going by chart patterns, folks. Listen, if Bitcoin explodes, okay, yes, the rest of the market will go up. Cardano will benefit. Or if Cardano announces some major partnership, sure. I just firmly believe in solid catalysts. I do. I just don't see it here. If it happens, great. Great. May all the Cardano ADA holders and supporters make lots and lots of money. But I just don't see a solid catalyst unless those things happen. So now let's move on here. Let's see. What else do we have? I have a lot of articles. Like I said, I have like 4 more XRP articles, but I'm trying to be as diverse as possible here. Oh, we have a good article. Okay, here we go. This article here, I'm glad I didn't miss it. Now, this article is titled Financial System on the Brink. Prepare for the fallout, says Bank of Canada. So this is coming from a bank. It's one of the few times where the banks actually are telling the truth and warning the people like, hey, there's something wrong here. And it's not just in one system. This is globally. There's something wrong with the global financial system. But let's see what they have to say here. This is interesting. All right. So it says here, bear with me one moment. Jane Addams, the 2024 U.S. House candidate, shared a video on X where the Bank of Canada has asked to brace for a financial crash as indicators of financial stress have risen and the valuations of some financial assets appear stretched. It says this could possibly increase the risk of a sharp correction that might generate system-wide stress. The recent rise in the use of leverage in non-bank financial institutions. Here we go with the NBFIs. I knew that was going to come into play at some point. But anyway, the recent rise in the use of leverage in non-bank financial institutions could escalate the effects of such correction. That's it? That's all he had to say? I mean, that's enough, really. You want to be completely honest. That's more than the banks usually say, but wow. I want to look more into this. That can't be all that person said, but that was powerful enough. So they're calling for the possibility of a financial crash. Now, some people may say, well, that's the Bank of Canada, but it was posted by U.S. House candidate Jane Addams. Now, listen, I don't get too political. I don't know who this person is at all. I've never even heard of this person before. But because they're from the U.S. and they posted it, I would think that this is sort of that person trying to convey that something similar could possibly happen in the U.S. You let me know what you think. You believe that? Because there's definitely something majorly wrong in the U.S. I mean, we had a billionaire come out 2 weeks ago. We covered the article here, and that billionaire said that at some point they're expecting one bank to crash every week. Now, who knows when that point is going to come? But that tells me that the people at the so-called top, they understand that there's something wrong here. Now, will the regular people take note of this and protect themselves? That's the question. And what measures are they taking to protect themselves? That's another question, right? So that's the connection here. A U.S. House candidate is the one who is bringing this information to the forefront. Very interesting, folks. We live in interesting times. Let me move this article over here, okay, so I don't lose it. And let's see what else we have. So I want to cover some interesting articles today. Ones that are interesting to me and keep my adrenaline up a little bit, for lack of a better word. So this article here is titled, "The Housing Crisis in the U.S. is Flipped Upside Down in Japan, where each home that's occupied could be next to an empty one by 2033. Yeah, I've heard about this before, where there are a lot of abandoned homes or empty homes in Japan. I'm not sure why. I'm not certain why. But I saw this because there were a number of people making videos on TikTok, and they were going over to Japan, and they have purchased homes there. And, you know, people like to show off what they've done and what they've discovered. And they're like, you know, look, I bought this for this amount, reasonable amount. Nobody was living here. There's an excessive amount of homes here. But once again, I'm not sure why. But of course, it being easier to acquire such a home over in Japan is going to be very tempting to people in the U.S. There's a large portion of people in the U.S. that are struggling, and they're looking for somewhere else to live. They don't want to live in vans. They definitely do not want to be homeless, especially with a lot of states. And this may be shocking if you haven't heard it before, but there are states that are trying to make it illegal to be homeless. You will get arrested if you're homeless, which is interesting to say the least. So I've seen a lot of people, you know, very concerned with that. And so they're looking for somewhere to live. And a lot of those places are outside the U.S. So once again, there's people moving to Mexico, Bali, Portugal, which I think now I was reading something that Portugal is becoming. Is it true? Do people feel like Portugal is becoming overpopulated, or I'm not sure because of foreigners moving there? People are moving to Thailand, Cambodia, and of course, Japan, right? Japan. But I'm not sure of the numbers. I haven't seen anything on the numbers on how many United States citizens are moving to Japan. So that would be interesting to know. So this, we'll keep up. We'll try to keep up with this. This is going to be interesting, but I'm not sure why they're saying that even more homes would be empty by 2033. We'll look a little deeper into that later. I want to move on to this next article here. Now, I may end off with this article here. This is from the Robert Kiyosaki, of course. And Robert Kiyosaki, like many people, are not a big supporter of the dollar. They use the dollar, but not a big supporter of the dollar, of course, as sound money, right? But the idea of the BRICS currency and how that will affect the dollar, considering so many countries are dollar dumping right now, that is an interesting idea, especially with the self-imposed damage that the United States continues to do to the dollar. But this article is titled, Robert Kiyosaki Warns of U.S. Dollar Collapse if BRICS Crypto Happens. The BRICS nations, once again, has been talking a lot as of late about the progress of making the common BRICS currency. I will say, I feel like they have to show me something. They have to show me something. There's been too much talk over the last 2 years and not enough proof, for lack of a better word. But let's read this little tidbit. If it happens, yes, it will be impactful, but we'll see how impactful it will be. It says the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, has issued a grave warning regarding the collapse of the U.S. dollar, citing concerns about the BRICS economic bloc potentially developing a cryptocurrency backed by gold. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is we know what that is. It says he wrote on X on Sunday, quote, currently in South Africa, a country I love, watching and listening to rumors of what will happen when BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and many more that had just joined last year. It says produce the BRICS crypto, possibly backed by gold, unquote. And that would send gold to the moon. Just that idea that is backed by gold. It says the famous author added, quote, if BRICS gold crypto happens, trillions in fake money, fiat US dollars, will come rushing back home to America, causing hyperinflation in America. Remember I used to talk about that? I said, what happens when those dollars come back? If no one's using them and they come back to the United States, I had thrown out the idea that it could possibly activate hyperinflation. This was last year. I used to talk about this quite often. And I'm glad to see someone else talking about that. Like a lot of people would say, hey, Mick, no, that can't happen. And there's nothing to worry about. I'm just considering the possibility. Like that's what I do. I consider possibilities. I don't deal in absolutes and I don't say things a guarantee. But if I'm going to look at this side, I have to look at the other side. I'm going to look at the positive. I have to look at the negative. I try to remain balanced in that way. That's just my way. But it says here, hyperinflation in America, ultimately destroying the U.S. dollar. Do I believe the U.S. dollar could be greatly diminished? Is it possible? Yes. Will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. There will be a lot of conflict if that were to happen before that time. There's no way that I see the United States going quietly into that dark night. Not at all. I believe that by force, that they could possibly resort to some sort of force. It doesn't have to be traditional force in order to keep the dollar afloat. I believe that there's also dramatic measures that they could take to keep the dollar afloat if they wanted to. That's the thing. If they wanted to. Now, if what their idea is to truly greatly diminish the dollar so that they can institute a new system, let's say like the new financial system, right? To institute a new system, then they would just allow it to happen. But we've yet to get to that point where I believe we can make a fair judgment, not fair judgment, but a more accurate judgment on which way that's going to lean. It seems right now there's a back and forth motion to that. There's a traditional aspect of the legacy system that's trying to hold firm. They don't want to let go. And then there's another side of it that appears to be trying to bring the system down. They want something new. They have an idea. The new financial system is there. A lot of value can be unleashed. And that there's a bit of a battle that's been going on. It's always that way. The duality is in everything. It's everywhere. But we'll leave off right there for today. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I couldn't thank you enough. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.